Yeah, I mean, we all figured after Avengers we couldn't go for more of a spectacle, so I'm just so pleased as people are seeing the movie that they're telling us that we kind of did this correctly. Enough for me to be proud to announce the next installment, where it will just be Rebecca and I, called Iron Man 4 Parade's End. There'll be a lot of this. We just wanted to get to a point where kids would be having that conversation when they left the theater.
Right.
You know, we wanted people to be having conversations about genetic enhancements and what does this mean, and is terrorism, media driven or whatever, without being political. So I'm very happy that those arguments are occurring. They're arguments about entertainment. Let's have dinner. Again, I think what I really liked about this was, in a post-Avengers world, we just asked questions. Wouldn't he be a little bit freaked out? And then that wound up being part of the theme, I mean, Sir Ben is right in that, some of the stuff we didn't rest on our laurels, but we exacted it, as it was. And a lot of the stuff we were very flexible, and we were often talking about things. I think what Sir Ben isn't telling you is that there was other scenes and parts in the movie where essentially we would throw any and every idea we could at him, and he would bounce it back, and it could have been in the movie, because he was throwing heat like it was the 6th game of the World Series, and he was the winning pitcher. And Don and I would just kind of play off that. But also with Gwyneth and I have made a habit of doing that with Tony and Pepper. And when Rebecca joined us, as she operates in both the past, Tony's past, she's kind of the prime mover of the story moving forward. All these things we try to be as flexible as possible. But the trauma thing to me was just, again, asking the question and getting away from this. We can't beat the spectacle of Avengers, so let's ask wouldn't it actually be like this if we were back in Tony's world? I'm required to say that I was doing some Tracy Anderson training, which Gwyneth Paltrow is central to. I hate to say it, Don is actually in better shape than I am.
No.
And he's more physically capable. But I'm not going to let it stay like that.
That is true.
When fitness magazines are asking me what I'm up to, that's what moves me. I want there to be no question that the dialogue between Don and I on who's more fit is going to end with Iron Man 17. Old guys jacked up on growth hormone.
That's it.
Well, first of all, I had a really good time making this movie, and I don't often set out to imagine I'm going to just have a fun time shooting, because these things, they're genre movies, but we take them pretty serious, and then things get all stressy, and the one thing you shouldn't have said, Shane, is you don't care how much it costs, because you're going to get offered a bunch of movies and you have to be mindful of budget. I'm going to strike that from your court minutes. In case you haven't noticed, Shane and I aren't talking right now. Success has driven us apart. But I'd like to hear from some of our other cast members, being between Shane and I, arguably several of the most self-obsessed and eccentric human beings on earth.
Rebecca, would you tell Mr. Downey that I agree with that?
He had.
I hate it when mum and dad fight.
Yeah, I want to follow up that question about whether you direct.
Yeah, I don't. You want me to? Yeah. Oh, that sounds so exhausting.
Thank you. And yes, we all saw it last night together with all of my kids' friends, and everybody loved it. And I, including myself, I was really surprised.
Shocked. You're such a snob.
No, I was surprised because normally, like when we were on set, I find it difficult to follow the plot of these on paper, and who's getting shot up with what, and who's bad and who's good. It all gets very confusing, but the movie plays so well, and it was so much fun to watch, and I was really amazed by the job that Shane did, and I thought it was really good, and so did my family, so thank you.
I think it was Jon Favreau's idea.
Yeah, it's true.
Yeah, I think A, he likes it, and B, he thought, what would be the strangest thing that Happy could be obsessed with watching? But he liked it because isn't the driver in love with the gal? He thought the themes were concurrent. Stop asking me questions. Making me anxious. Particularly not questions like that. Don? Don always calms me down.
Do they still do 17 pictures?
They do at Marvel.
I get one of those.
You know, I'm pretty quick. I think I'm pretty witty. But I might be out of steam. Why don't you repeat the question after we leave? And after I've had dinner with him, maybe you'll come over for an aperitif. I wouldn't know how to answer that question, but all I know is we're doing something right. I'm really glad that audiences are responding to this movie. You know, being able to do this again with Dawn and Gwyneth is a great pleasure. But having Sir Ben having rocketed us into another dimension with arguably the most complicated arc in superhero history, and the over-talented Rebecca Hall showing up and doing us a big solid and classing the joint up has just made this a most delightful experience. And Drew and Shane listened to us all run our mouths for weeks and weeks and weeks, and then they said thank you very much, went away, and came back with the script, which is the story we shot. And that's the reason we're sitting here, and that's the reason most of you aren't saying this film sucks. Don't ever waste our time again.